Welcome to an intoxicating new episode of the Demonic Compendium, the show where I discuss the mythology, design, and game history of your favorite Megami Tensei demons. In honor of today's demons, I've decided to have a couple of drinks myself before recording. Was that a bad idea? Maybe? Probably? Definitely! But either way today, we're talking about Dionysus. Please drink responsibly. Dionysus is the Greek god of wine, fertility, winemaking, pretty much everything wine associated, and is also seen as a deity of theater, festivals, and agriculture. His followers usually associated him with freedom, releasing your inhibitions, and getting really, really drunk. So much so that a type of ritual held in his honor involving wine are often referred to as the Dionysian Mysteries. The most common story for Dionysus' birth is that he was the child of the god Zeus and the mortal woman Semele. There are several variations on this, but a common version of the tale is that while pregnant with Dionysus, Semele demanded to see Zeus in his true form, which he agreed to, but unfortunately for her, seeing his true form caused her death. Zeus was able to save the baby by stitching him into his thigh, where he was eventually born again. The details may vary, but being twice born is one of the most common aspects of Dionysus' tale, most often fully developing in Zeus' thigh. Dionysus' compendium entry from Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne refers to him as the Greek god of wine and orgies. He had two births. When his mother died while pregnant with him, Zeus took the premature infant and let him mature to proper birth in his thigh. A couple of later titles add some other details regarding his mythology, such as his Devil Survivor 2 record breaker entry discussing his legions of female followers, known as the Meneids, and how he taught humans how to make wine. Being so heavily associated with wine and agriculture, Dionysus has been a prominent figure in regards to festivals in Greek culture and even Roman culture, where he was known as Bacchus. In the simplest terms, Dionysus was the Greek god most people just really wanted to party with. As far as design goes, Dionysus has a very interesting touch to his appearance. Like many demons, his most iconic depiction originated from the Devil Summoner series, specifically Soul Hackers, where he appears as a scantily clad, semi-androgynous figure. The garland adorning his head and the pinecone-tipped thyrus are common symbolic elements of Dionysus and his followers that have appeared in multiple depictions of the deity on pottery, paintings, sculptures, and more. Dionysus' clothes are also in reference to him being the god of wine, wearing only red or white, the two most common colors of wine. This could have originated from his very first appearance when he was just a sprite back in Shin Megami Tensei If, where he wore a white toga and red anklets while carrying a red wine bottle. But the most interesting aspects are the bright colors and patterns covering his body. Kaneko created this design to work in multiple ways. For starters, body painting in general was a common thing held at festivals in the god's honor, but the particular colors and patterns used in his design seem to strongly resemble what we see when wine or other alcohols are examined under a microscope, essentially making his entire body one big representation of the wine that he rules over. It's just darn good design work on Kaneko's part. Dionysus has had many roles in the series as far as game history is concerned. As previously mentioned, his first appearance ever was in Shin Megami Tensei If, where he acted as one of the guardian deities, which were a precursor to the concept of personas in that later series. As a guardian, Dionysus could be wielded specifically by Shinji Charlie Kuroi. Doesn't he just look like such a nice young man? Dionysus made his franchise debut under his Roman counterpart in the Persona 2 duology as Bacchus. In both games, he was one of the special personas that fell under one of the minor arcana, specifically the Suit of Cups. This meant that he could only be acquired through special mutations and would provide players with the Bacchus drink upon being fully ranked up and returned via Mystic Change, an infinite use item that fully heals one ally while also increasing their max HP for the duration of the battle. In Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, Dionysus could only be acquired via fusion and had access to the exclusive passive ability Wine Party. Nocturne had many passive skills that demons could get, allowing them to step in and attempt to pacify the situation in the event the Demi-Fiend is failing to negotiate, but only under specific circumstances. Wine Party can be used to settle virtually all disputes, essentially making Dionysus one of the best demons to have in your party when attempting to negotiate. He also has a unique demon conversation with the demon Mata, another mythological figure associated with alcohol. Dionysus presents the player with side quests in both Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey and Shin Megami Tensei 4. In the former, Dionysus tasks the player with the EX mission, Death Distilled, where he asks for a Zen feather to make a deadly wine because he just wants to try it. This is a really cool task, as the story of making poisonous wine out of a Zen's feather is a part of their mythology, so this was a cool way to blend them together. But hey, this isn't supposed to be a Zen episode. Like Sandman in the previous episode, this side quest will presumably be sticking around in the upcoming Deep Strange Journey. Dionysus is also part of the Zealot race in that game, and therefore can only be created through fusion accidents. In Shin Megami Tensei 4, Dionysus is the star of another wine-related side quest, The Great Drunkenness, where Flynn simply has to fight him in order to gain the Menead's wine. While this is a slightly late-game quest, it's worth noting that this quest is one that must be accomplished in order to complete the neutral ending of the game. And lastly, perhaps his biggest story role in any of the games is his addition to the 3DS enhanced port of Devil Survivor 2, Record Breaker. Dionysus becomes the lowest level demon of the Omega race of demons due to him now appearing as Daichi's initial persona in the first fight during the Triangular arc of the game. Oh, and in Persona 5, his shadow name referred to him as the Hedonistic Braggart. Get used to this bit of trivia in future episodes, because I'm probably going to be bringing up these nicknames a lot. And so there you have it, Dionysus, the wine-wielding world spirit of wackiness and whimsy. Did I leave out something you thought was important? Was I just plain wrong about something? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to let me know who you'd like to see me talk about in future episodes. That's going to do it for this episode of the Demonic Compendium, and I'll see you next time. But be careful while you rest that a demon doesn't take over your body.